those of you who are visiting to guide a little bit and let you know a little bit more of what we're doing or what pages we're on. So for those of you who are regulars and you hear me saying things like, why is she saying that? Well, you'll know why, just to kind of help our visitors here and also to make sure that they know where we're at in our prayer book. You want me to do it? Yeah, I know, I have to do it. All right, so we always start with lighting candles, bringing in the light of Shabbat, if you will, and so we generally do that as we rise. So I'll ask if you're able to rise, please. As Linda I'll light them for her, but she's gonna. And even though sunset, that didn't, see, it's not you, it's me too. Even though sunset is still a little ways away this time of year, we're going to go ahead and bring Shabbat in with our own light as the sun gets ready to set. So page 4 at the bottom. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for taking that roll on. You are welcome to be seated. We're moving well. Shabbat shalom. So we're going to be on page 5 as this whole first part of the service is really, they're made up of some hymns and then psalms, a section of psalms that get us into the mood for our Sabbath, that kind of get us our frame for leaving the work week behind, taking a breath from the challenges of life and feeling the peace of the Sabbath. So page 5, you'll find Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShared, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Nile Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitzchem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We turn over to page 11, and just to give you a very quick tour of the Siddur, the right side of the Siddur, yes, it's opening opposite what you might normally think. If you're an English reader, it opens on the Hebrew way, but the right side of the page is generally the Hebrew with commentary. The left side of the page is translation, and that's where you usually find in the red the transliteration. So if you have any knowledge of Hebrew but want to be able to see what the words look like in the transliteration, that's the red down below the English translation. So this is a learning prayer book, a learning Siddur. So it has commentary and fun things in there for us to guide ourselves with. So page 11, you'll find the first of our Psalms, Psalm 95, as we join together. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nekad mafana b'todah. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, Baruchu neranin al Adonai. Page 14 by the arrow, you'll find the ending of Psalm 96. You'll see the words by the arrow, Yismachu Hashamayim, the heavens and the earth rejoice. It is Shabbat after all, and it's not just us taking a moment of rest from the rest of our usual. It's also, we understand it to be nature as well. So, page 14. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Ya'alo sarar v'chol asher bo az yiranenu kol atzei ya'ar lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim emunato. You'll kind of turn on over to page 19 by the bottom, far left. This is a selection that we've been adding to our prayer pretty regularly. It's a lovely reading that comes from a prayer book from a Tel Aviv community, Tel Aviv in Israel. Reminds us of our connection to Israel, certainly, and is a wonderful reading reminding us of the presence of Shabbat in our lives, what the Sabbath is about. So, bottom of 19 on the far left, if we'll read together this selection in the small print. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your coming. Bring with you rest and peace following a tumultuous week filled with so many demands. Bring the space in which, with others and alone, we can shape an infinity of dreams. Bring the hour of forgiveness in which to hear the pounding heart of another human being. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your Creator. Blessed is your light. We turn over to page 20 by the arrow. There you'll find the end of our 99th Psalm. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Page 21, you'll find the 29th Psalm. It is a psalm that talks about the voice of God in the world around us. There's an interpretive selection based on mystical teachings, actually on the far left side of the page of 21. Let's read responsively. I'll read in the Hebrew. Anyone's welcome to join me in the Hebrew if they want, and we'll read in the English together as well. The far left side of the page in the small print. Kol Adonai al Hamayim, the voice of God opens the gates of compassion and love. Kol Adonai Bakoach, the voice of God opens the gates of courage. Kol Adonai Behadar, the voice of God opens the gates of shining truth. Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, the voice of God opens the gates of endurance and patience. Kol Adonai Chotsev Lavotesh, the voice of God opens the gates of splendorous beauty. Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, the voice of God opens the gates of deepest connection. Kol Adonai Yecholel Ayalot, The voice of God opens the gates of presence. We join together in the psalm on page 21 on the right. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'os, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai bakoach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vayishaber Adonai et arze halavanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel Levanon v'Sirion kemo ven re'emim, Kol Adonai chotzef lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, vayechesof ye'arot, uve'echalo kulo omer, kulo omer kavod, Adonai lamabu yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Page 23, you will find Lecha Dodi, our hymn that welcomes in Shabbat as a bride or a queen walking into our midst. You all, if you've been to a wedding, what do you do when you enter, when the bride enters? Of course, we traditionally stand, we face the bride, right? Walking in, you all know that, right? So we have that similar tradition. It's a tradition actually from the mystics. When they would sing about the Sabbath bride, they would go out for the very last verse in particular. They'd go out into the fields and literally welcome in the Sabbath into the midst. So you'll see the imagery is, again, the idea of God, the idea of the Sabbath as being a bride or queen, someone of royalty walking in and making our environment special. So we're going to do the first two verses on 23. We'll do the last two verses on 24 and the last two verses on 25. How's that? I know I'm adding new. You want me to do it differently? You weren't here last week. I added one. What do you think? Is that going to mess you up? It's a long hymn. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's do the first two verses. We're going to do actually the first two verses again. We'll do it that way. I'm not listening to them. It's okay. And then we're going to do the last two verses. So the first two, last two. Hey, we're adding a little. We got to do a little bit different. Page 23, but I'll give you the signal when we get to that last verse. You'll see the note where we rise and we'll face the door. The door will magically open. Again, as we follow the practice of the mystics who did and continue to do, they go out and they welcome in the Sabbath in the fields. So page 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad ushemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha lecha dodi dodi lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki mekor haberacha mehirosh mikedem nisucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Top of 24. Hit na'ari me'afar kumi. Leave she big day tifartech ami al yad ben yishai beit halachmi karva el nafshi git Allah lecha lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela lecha dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, kiva ore, kumi ori, uri, shirda beiri, kivod Adonai Allah yichnigla. Lecha, dodi lecha, dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha, dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Middle 25. Yaminu semot tifrotzi. V'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yadish ben partzi v'nismecha b'nagila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela. We rise. Lecha dodi likrat kala. We face the door. Penei Shabbat nikabela. B'hoi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala. Toch emunei am sigula. B'wichala. Lecha, lecha, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha, dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. You are welcome to be seated. Page 27, you'll find our psalm for Shabbat. Each day of the week has a psalm from the book of Psalms assigned to it. This is the psalm for Shabbat. Is the 92nd psalm. We join together at the top with a special melody that we've been using for a while, actually, with the refrain of Tov, which means good. Mizmor shir liyom ha-Shabbat. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. L'shimcha elyon. Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Lehagid baboker chasdecha. Ve'emunatcha baleilot. Baleilot. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. We're going to conclude the psalm over on page 28 by the arrow. Tzaddik tamar yifrach ke'erez balevanon yizkeh shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuhavun beseva deshenim verananim yihu lehagid ki ashar Adonai Tzuri velo avatavo. Page 30, you will find Kadisha Tome, our Mourner's Kaddish. Those reciting the Mourner's Kaddish, you're welcome to rise and join with me. Page 30. Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei rabbah v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam lomei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. You are welcome to be seated. Before we go into our evening service, that was our Kabbalat Shabbat, our receiving of the Sabbath, if you will. It's our service that kind of gets us into the mood for our Sabbath. You can see with the Psalms and things like that. Before we go into our evening service, which welcomes in formally the new day, let's share a little bit of Torah together, a little word of Torah together. This week we are studying the combined parshiot of Acharei Mot and Kedoshim. So there's two portions, a portion assigned for each week, and we have two portions we are putting together. There are more portions than there are weeks sometimes of how it works. So we're putting these two traditionally every few years are stuck together. And as we studied it, we recognize that we are occupying a unique position in the Torah. I shared with you, those of you here a few weeks ago, actually, we're really pretty much in the center of the Torah, right? Pretty much smack dab in the center, in the middle of Leviticus, right? So Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and we're pretty much right in the middle of Leviticus. So this is really the center of the Torah specifically. But we're also in the spiritual center, if you will, of the Torah as we study a section of text called the Holiness Code. We're really right smack dab in the middle of that spiritual section as well. So it speaks to us in many ways. What's the Holiness Code? Well, it's what it may sound like to you, right? It's a set of rules that challenges us to reach for a sense of Kedusha, a sense of holiness, a sense of being holy, proper, upstanding behavior, if you will, and doing that in everything, in all that we do in our lives. And some of the rules that we see in the Holiness Code are ritual in nature. For example, keeping Shabbat or avoiding idolatry, right? Especially for the ancient cultures who had many gods and prayed to statues. That was an important understanding, important mitzvah of bringing in holiness. Some ideals are more ethical in nature, and they speak to our relationship with the environment. You wouldn't think this would be part of a Holiness Code, but for instance, we give trees time to grow before using their fruit, right? We might want to take those first year of apples out and start eating them, but we know that it's not healthy for the tree. The tree needs time to cultivate itself. The world needs to let it grow a little bit, and then we are able to enjoy its fruit. And if you are an apple, somebody who grows apples or pears or anything else in your yard, you know that usually the very first time you get fruit, what does it taste like? Ugh. Somebody said it really well. Thank you, Fran. Ugh. Yeah, it naturally doesn't taste well. So the Torah is reminding us that our responsibility to the earth as well, and that we want to value it in a positive way. There are other rules in the Holiness Code that affect the world of business. For instance, we're to use honest weights and measures. In other words, we're to be honest in our business dealings. We're to avoid theft. We're to avoid robbery, things that will be contrary to our dealing with others in a business relationship. Other paths to holiness are social. Easy one for us, we're to care for the poor, right? Take care of those who are in need. We're to treat aliens in our midst like residential Israelites, right? We're to look at those who are amongst us that may not be our best friends, may not be the people we know the best, but we are to treat them with a sense of dignity. And then there are others that are personal in nature, like respecting your parents, college-age students. Remember that one when you call your parents and you're annoyed? I still have to remember it, and I'm a lot older than you, right? But how we treat our parents, refrain from bearing a grudge against somebody, right? This is a great one. We all get mad at somebody every now and again. The Torah says, let it go a little bit, right? Be forgiving, right? And at the core of all of these ethical ideas is the one command which seems to stand, I think, at the very center of Judaism as well, and perhaps other religions as well. This comes from Leviticus 19. Very simple words. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha ani Adonai. Simply translated, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Adonai, right? I am God. The great sage Hillel considered this concept to be the very foundation of Jewish life, and certainly it is a verse which I think serves as the basis for what many call the Golden Rule. You heard that before, right? Well, this is probably where we might identify the verse that we might identify as, quote, the Golden Rule. But Hillel had a problem with the verse, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. What's the problem with the verse? Well, it says, v'ahavta, love. Now, that seems to command an emotion, right? David, I want you to love me as a rabbi because I'm just awesome. And if you don't like me, I don't care. I want you to love it, right? I want you to love what you're doing. I want you to love your school. I want you to love your teacher and love your class. And some of you are going, I don't know about that. Statistics side, do I really have to love statistics? Like physics? I don't, unless I'm a physics major, right? The word v'ahavta is troublesome because it sounds like we are being commanded to love something or to be happy or stop worrying. Anybody say, stop worrying about this, right? Anybody tell you, be happy, don't worry, be happy, right? It's nice, it sounds good, but it's very difficult if you're not in that frame of mind. And no one, not even God in our tradition, can command us to love and to feel that love. So what do we do with it? What do we do with this command, it sounds like, to love? Well, you may be familiar with the classic rabbinic story in which Hillel tells a non-Jew that he needs everything that is needed to know. The person comes up to him and says, tell me everything about Judaism on one foot. And what does Hillel say? Well, Hillel, keeping this principle in mind, says not love your neighbor as yourself, as a simple answer, right? But he teaches it as that which is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. He changes it around, but it's the same concept. What did he do? He took the ideal of loving your neighbor from the Torah and put it in an understandable fashion. He placed it in the context of action, not just emotion. He took it out of love, and he said, do. Whatever you don't like being done, don't do it to somebody else. And in fact, the context of the Torah portion we see where this verse comes from is surrounded by commands that involve action. It's that holiness code I just talked to you about, right? It's not talking about emotion. It's not teaching us everybody needs to love or hate or have an emotion about something. How do we express and fulfill the obligation, the mitzvah to love your neighbor? Well, we do it by action. You shall not steal. You don't deal deceitfully or falsely with someone else. You shall pay the wages of a laborer immediately. Respect the person that's working for you, right? You shall not insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. Don't make life more difficult for someone who already might have some challenges in our world. Judge your neighbor fairly. Shall not rise, but those of you who are, this applies to our college age and then our older, right? You shall rise before the aged and show respect for the zakein, the aged scholar, or so show respect for your elders. We've heard that one before, right? You shall not wrong the ger. Don't wrong the stranger. Don't take advantage of somebody who may not know the rules, may not know exactly what everything is all about. So likewise, when we recite the Shema and the V'ahavta, because those of you are going, well, wait a minute, God says you shall love Adonai and we're going to see this passage, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. That commandment to love God, that too is surrounded by instructions, including, and we'll see it when we read it in the evening service in just a few moments, to teach the teachings of the Torah to our children, to repeat the teachings wherever we may be, day and night, right? To place them as a sign on our body for the mitzvah of tefillin, to place them as a sign on our doors for the mitzvah of putting on a mezuzah. So in context, we begin to understand in Jewish tradition that love's not just about the passion of emotion, but it's the passion of fair and ethical treatment. It's the passion of performing actions that express connection and loyalty and learning. So holiness is not achieving love. Rather, it's doing acts that enhance our relationships with others and with God, and therefore form strong bonds of caring and sharing amongst all of us. So, v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, ani Adonai, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I think it's an instruction that we need to heed in our modern world, striving to elevate ourselves in our behaviors in everything that we do, to use that charge to love, to act with love. May we treat others with dignity. May we stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. May we avoid judging others harshly or unfairly. May we treat ourselves, each of us, with respect and caring, and others as well. And may we respect those and others around us. It's a tall order, but it is one, I think, in the end that will be our final measure of success in our world, not just here within our small confines, but as human beings in the larger world, as we seek Kedusha, as we seek a sense of holiness, and as we seek a sense of shalom, of peace in our world. So to that, I hope you can say Amen, and I will say Shabbat Shalom. So we're going to go into the evening service, which you'll find over on page 39a, and in just a moment you will see, and those of you who are used to our service, you'll know that the Shema and the V'ahavta are the central part of our evening service every day, not just on the Sabbath. And it calls for us to bring love to the world through our actions, through our deeds, not just through our thoughts and emotions, but by doing things that bring that love to reality. So page 39a, I'll ask if you're able to rise. As we join together the call to worship, we join to welcome in the new day. 39a. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, hamevorach Le'olam va'ed. You are welcome to be seated. We read together in the English on 39a, the left side of the page in the English together, our bracha of creation. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. We turn on over to page 40. You'll find Ahavat Olam. We talk about our love for God. This is God's love for us through the giving of the Torah and the mitzvot, the Jewish responsibilities we take on. Again, the things that bring love to the world. Page 40. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shachveinu u'v'kumeinu nasiach v'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu u'vahem nehege yomam v'layla Yomam v'layla v'yahavadcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. The Shema v'yahavta, page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha b'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Page 41, the left side we read together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. We turn over to page 44 at the top as we join together. U'malchuto b'ratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael chanu shira b'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nohorati lo tosefele Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe ze'elianu v'yamru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'em Lemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Page 45, you'll find our prayer for Shalom, our Hashkivenu prayer that asks for a sense of peace as we end our day and we begin our new day. New day begins in the evening for us as Jews, according to the Hebrew calendar. So we ask God as we prepare to go to sleep at night, really, to allow us to have a better day that is coming. And certainly when the sun arises, that we feel that sense of security, we awaken to a brighter day. So page 45, we'll read together our prayer for peace. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ushmor tzeitenu uhuvoenu l'chayim l'shalom me'ata v'yad olam, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Page 46, I'll ask if you're able to rise as we join together in the singing of Vishamru, our paragraph from Exodus, reminding us that we share the covenant with God through the observance of the Sabbath through Shabbat. Page 46. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat Lidorotam berit olam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat lidorotam berit olam beheini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam Oti le'olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat lidorotam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat lidorotam berit olam uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash shavat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Chatzi Kaddish, middle of 46. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba b'yamad yivarach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayeh dechol beit Yisrael bagala u'v'zman kariv V'meru amen yehishmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olam me'olmaya yitbarach v'yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yithalal, shemei de kudesha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma, v'meru, amen. You'll find the silent Amidah this evening, page 47, continuing through page 52. As always, feel free to use this time for your own personal thoughts and meditations to add to the words on the page. When you're through, you are welcome to be seated. As always, though, take your time. Page 47 through 52. We turn on over to page 54, where you'll find Kaddish Shalem. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba v'yalma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'mechon uv'chayerecho be'Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olam me'almaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei de kudesha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'yama v'imeru. Amen. Titkal bal tzloton uvohuton d'chol Yisrael kodam avohon v'shamaya v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleni v'yakol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Ohoseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru. Amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'yimeru. Amen. We turn back in our Siddur to page 173, and there on the far left side of the page, you will find a prayer for healing. I mentioned as we were doing our standing prayer to add your own personal thoughts and meditations to the words that are on the page. One way we do that as a congregation is to add our prayer for health and healing here in this part of our service. So page 173, the far left, we think about the healing that is needed in the world, certainly physical, emotional, spiritual healing. We hope healing for the world in general. And I have my list here. I'll name those. And if you have a name you'd like to make sure is added, we'll go around the room. You can just raise your hand or stand up and add that name to our list of people we are keeping in our thoughts this evening, which include Hanan HaKohen Ben Sima, Michal bat Devorah, Shulamit bat Gittel, Yitzchak ben Gittel, Yisraela bat Sipora, Devorah bat Avraham Vasara, Elizabeth Alfieri, Victor Alfieri, Matthew Ash, Alan Berghauser, Bonnie Carlton, Natalie Kogan, Megan Contigno, Michelle Kramer, Barbara Feingold, Bruce Fine, Gittel Glasser, Suzanne Gott, Francis Haber, Arlene Hoffman, Nadine Hyman, Peter Jacobson, Joan Klepp, Mike Kadadich, Michael Kraus, Tom LeBlanc, Hannah Lipman, Joel Lowenstern, Rivka Markowitz, Marjorie Morstein, Susan Aller, Jana Prince, Bernie Rowe, Devorah Rubenstein, Genevieve Sanders, Harriet Siegel, Esther Weiner, and Mary Beth White, and any names we add at this moment. Yeah. Any others on this side? We keep all of them in our thoughts, and anyone else that you have in your own personal thoughts, certainly as we join together, far left side in the small print, our Misha Berach for Healing by Debbie Friedman. 173. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBeracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Refuah shlema to all in need. We're going to turn back in our Siddur before we go into the concluding part of our service and turn to page 63. Those of you who were here last week or the week before that even, those of you who may have seen my Shabbat message today, we are in the period of the counting of the Omer, the 49-day period from the second day of Passover through the holiday to the holiday of Shavuot, our Pentecost holiday, if you will. And we are bridging that gap from slavery to freedom, from hopefully the understanding of being slaves in Egypt now towards gaining a sense of nationhood that Shavuot brings of giving the Torah of Mount Sinai at Mount Sinai. We're bridging that gap of time, liturgically speaking. And so on page 63, you'll find our blessing for reciting and actually counting the day. We literally count each day during this period of time. In the evening, as we begin the new day. So we're going to say read the English on the far left side, on the left side of the page, rather, on 63, the blessing together in the Hebrew, and you will then turn over to page 69, and the third selection down on page 69, so keep your fingers in one place and your fingers in the other, if you can. On page 69, we will count the new day, the third line down. As we again hit about just almost close to midway during this important period of the Omer. So page 63, again, I'll ask if you're able to rise as we join together in the English towards the top of the page, the line, verse from Leviticus. I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer, as it is written in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. The blessing together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha-omer. Baruch atah Adonai, praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, who has provided us with a path to holiness through the observance of mitzvot and has instructed us to count the Omer. We turn over to page 69, the third one down, as we begin our, not 69, hold on, wait a minute, I gave you the wrong one. Page 67, second one down. I was looking at the wrong number. Page 67, second one down, as we read for the new day, Hayom Shlosha V'Yesrim Yom Shehem Shlosha Shavuot Ushne Yamim La Omer. Today marks the 23rd day, the beginning of the 23rd day of the Omer. That is exactly 3 weeks and 2 days in the counting of the Omer. As we count the days, please make sure you make each day of life count as well. And together we say, Amen. We turn back in our Siddur to page 56. I need a little bit of help opening up the Aron HaKodesh Ben, if you'll be so kind. Liliana, will you help us out as well? There are 2 doors. We'll let Ben pull the curtain, and if you don't mind to help close the doors at the end, as we rise and remain standing and turn to page 56 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol la'tet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gohor aleinu k'chol hamonam v'anachnu kor'im Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser haaretz umoshav yikaro bashamayim mima'al ushchinatu zo begavhei meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatuv B'Torato, V'yadat Tahayom V'hashevota Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim Ba Shamayim Mima'al, V'al haaretz mitachat einod al ken nekavel echad Adonai Eloheinu le'ofer t'ritzecha takino elom b'kol כי המלכות שלך היא, ומעט תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. As your Rona Kodesh is closed, you are welcome to be seated. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We turn on over to page 58. There you'll find Kaddish Shatom, the second Mourner's Kaddish this evening. And as we recite Mourner's Kaddish, as we affirm life, we remember those whose yortzites occur today and in the week that is coming, including Tessie Palmer, Bess Goldwasser, Louis Nachman, Morris Rosenfeld, Nicholas Hyman, Ruth Eigenberg, Gary Korf, Sarah Schatzberg, George Sawyer, Isidore Scheinberg, Israel Heller, Lillian Hewler, Marvin Wishman, Stephen Waugh, Edna Shaw, Joseph Zenar, Ted Rice, Anna Loon, Anna Rosenberg, Annie Kaufman, Joseph Wernick, Logan Jones, Rosalind Kessler, Sam Rosenblum, Deborah Brown, Hyman M. Kaplan, Pauline Sedrin, Dolly Liebauer, Jack Peterson, Max Whitman, Sam Bykoff, Stanley Sedrin, and William Grossman. We remember all of them. Are there any others? We have Barbara Unger was this past week as well, right? Okay. We keep her in our thoughts as well. As we turn to page 58, those reciting the Mourner's Kaddish, you're welcome again to rise and join with me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach yirutei, Be'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You are welcome to be seated. My Bima buddy is Melinda today. Yay! Do you want to go on up here, or you want to stay down here, and I'll hand you my mic?
I don't know. Which is easier for you? I can go.
You want to go up here? You want to go up here? It should be up there.
Right, but I can climb up on a thing.
Let's see. It's there. Yeah, we'll give the. We'll make the Bima work a little bit tonight.
Okay. Ooh, here it is. Okay. Is it on? And can we hear me?
Yes, we can.
Fabulous. Okay. Some announcements. Let's see. I'm always trying to get this. Okay. Oneg and Kiddush sponsorship. So tonight is Linda and Ed Miller in celebration of Ed's birthday. And tomorrow for Kiddush is Hannah Littman and Bob, am I saying that right? Nemec?
Mm-hmm.
In celebration of their anniversary. Be sure to snag some of the reading materials in the lobby on your way out today. Also, we love keeping up with our members. So if you have any news or milestones you'd like to share with your CBI friends and family, please don't be shy about sending it our way. Help support our silent auction. Sponsorship forms are in the lobby. Feel free to take extras for friends and family. Please consider that. It is for a good cause. I have also participated in that. Giving back one bottle at a time. Really, I should have looked at this in advance. This is exciting. Okay. If you are looking for a noble cause for that extra bottle in your liquor cabinet, CBI is happy to take it off your hands. It's a tough job, but we're willing to make the sacrifice for the community. Smile, smile, that should be a winky face probably added with it.
You're going to see why we need that. That is not because we just love liquor. We'll get to the announcement as to why that's important, but go ahead.
Good. Okay, so part 2 is coming on that. Okay. Upcoming April events, we look forward to seeing you this Sunday, April 26th, for the CBI annual meeting. Join us for refreshments at 12:15 p.m. before the meeting officially kicks off at 12:30. I'm assuming that's not why we need the alcohol.
No.
Okay.
Although it wouldn't hurt.
Right?
When you talk about budget, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, my minutes might look really funny after that.
Yes.
Okay. Once we wrap up, let's show our support of to Temple of Israel and head over for Shalom Fest. Always a good time. Looking forward. Okay. Don't miss out. We have a limited number of seats left for our Broadway-themed fundraiser on Sunday, May 3rd. Also, fun times. That's my anniversary, so please, let's all come celebrate here with me. That's not in there. That was just me ad-libbing. It's going to be a wonderful evening of music and auction fun, with all proceeds going toward making our building ADA compliant and accessible to all. Tickets are $50 or $18 for kids. If you have a high-end auction item to contribute, please let us know via the website or email. CBI, a place for everyone.
Or if you happen to have liquor that you'd like to donate.
Liquor.
I think it's supposed to be an unopened bottle. I don't know if it said that exactly, but
No.
not the stuff you've been drinking and that's sitting in your refrigerator for the last
Cool.
days.
Yeah, I might have some to contribute too. Okay. Saturday, May 9th is a big day for our religious school students. They'll be participating in the Shabbat morning service. It's going to be a wonderful morning, so let's make sure they have a house full of support. On Friday, May 15th, let's celebrate Yom Yerushalayim together with a revised Israeli-themed menu.
Yes.
Oh, I see now why it's revised. The brisket, it really would have helped to look at this in advance. It's a surprise as it's coming to me. The brisket barbecue has been rescheduled for August 28th. Please register and pay online. Sunday, May 31st, the men's club is hosting an outing to see the Greenville Drive baseball team, with the first pitch at 3:05 p.m., which follows a picnic lunch. A reminder, July 10th is postponed. The Social Action and Habitat for Humanity, stay tuned for updates. Adult Education, God Talk with Rabbi Cohn on Sunday, April 26th is at 10:30 a.m. Join Fred Leffert for intermediate Hebrew on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. and Torah study on Zoom, Tuesdays at 5:30. Happy birthday, Ed Miller, on the 24th. The 26th is Leon Friedman, Avital Germon on the 29th. And then we've got a couple of anniversaries. The 22nd, David Schutzman and Carol Weinstock. And then the 25th is Hannah Lippman and Robert Nemec.
Yep.
I'll get it sooner or later.
You got it.
Okay.
That's it. You got it.
Hooray.
Very good. Yasher Koach. We've been saying this for a while. It's just rotating announcements. There's a lot going on. So I did not see previously either the announcement about the liquor. So that's pretty funny. But we do have a few birthdays in the house. I'm looking at who's we might not have caught in the last couple of weeks. And of course, but today is Ed Miller's birthday. Yay! So we give you a little chocolate and Mike, I'm going to get you if you don't mind. Can I do that for you? Is that okay? Mike celebrated a birthday a few days ago. It's last week, this past week. So a little chocolate for you, my friend. And let's join together as we sing Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Hey, happy birthday to both of you. We'll keep celebrating the birthday out in the back, certainly. Speaking of out in the back, we are going to move just in a moment into the Kiddush or Oneg in the back. There'll be some yummy treats, but we'll do Kiddush together over our wine or grape juice and then be able to enjoy some time together. And students, I know I've talked with Pound Lee about having some time with you. We'll pull back into the sanctuary. I'll show you guys the Torah and stuff for a little bit if you have a little bit of time to do that after we get started in the back. So if I sneak away and you're wondering where the rabbi ran off to, I'm probably in here, and you're all are welcome to do that, but we'll pull the Torah out and have a chance to look at the Torah scroll. So with that, we are going to end with a very traditional song, and I'm going to take 1 second to teach you how to sing this song so you all can know it, right? Really hard. Are you ready? It's got 5 words. The first one is bim. Thank you. Okay? Help out, guys. The second one is bomb. Okay, can you handle that? Bim and bomb. Got that? Okay, third one is Shabbat. Thank you, Ben. Shabbat. And the fourth one is shalom. Okay, that's the fourth one. Now, there's a 5th word that people often leave out. Thank you, Liliana. Hey. Okay, so bim, bomb, Shabbat, shalom, hey. Got it? Goes like this. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, bam, bim, bam, bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat, shalom, hey, Shabbat, shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 shalom, Shabbat, shalom, hey, Shabbat, shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom to everyone. We will head in the back. Maggie, I'm going to welcome you back with a little bit of chocolate. Welcome back, welcome home, as they say. Yeah, it's been a while. We're glad to see you. I know your dad is happy to see you here for a visit. Wonderful. If there's somebody you don't recognize, please make sure you introduce yourselves. Hi. How are you?
Good. Arlene.
I know. Traditionally, we bless the day with wine or grape juice. Probably not going to be able to get to everybody, so just make sure whoever gets it. And so we join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodshom yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, Mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat. Amen. Chaim. All right. Before we eat, we have a tradition of washing our hands ritually, and so we will do that. Anyone else who wishes to wash, you can wash as you wish. And of course, we have our traditional challah. Ooh, ah. It's warm, too. The plate's even warm. The plate's even warm tonight. So we will do our blessing for our motzi. And before I do that, because everybody's going to then want to eat, thank you for the yummy-looking cupcakes. Very nice. Yeah, you made them with your own self, right? So in honor of Ed's birthday, where's Ed? You're here and he's over there. Hi, Ed. Happy birthday again. Thank you for supplying some cupcakes for us to enjoy. They look really, really yummy. I might have to steal one before I go running off to teach more Torah. We join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We'll cut a few more pieces for everybody. You can take a piece of challah. It's nice and warm. And B'tei Avon, you are welcome to have some. Make sure, Ed, come here. You need to get your cupcake. Choose your cupcake or cupcakes. In your honor, you got to have a little birthday cake at Kiddush, or at Oneg, I should say. So pick what you will. Bread first. And yeah. Right here. All right, Ed, come here. Get a plate. You got to get what you want. I want you to get one before everybody else starts to get one, and then you don't have one anymore. There you go. Strawberry. Okay. Happy birthday. I just want to make sure you got some. All right. Furman, if you want to take some little bit, and then in a few minutes I'll bring you back out, and we'll do some learning a little bit just for a few minutes. Ben, how are you doing? Good. Okay. Good to hear it. So do you know where these came from? Do you know where they came from? Yes, I was ordained in 97.
Did you grow up Jewish?
I did grow up Jewish, yes. In a congregation, well, I grew up in Florida, and then Chattanooga, Tennessee. So spent from 12 years old on in congregations and churches. Small town, small Jewish community in a small area. So, good question.
Where did you study?
Where did I study? I'm part of, and I grew up within what's called the conservative movement, with a capital C, not a little c, right? So this is not political, it's conserving